Amtrak. A subcommittee has already approved a version of that bill that would pave the way for millions of dollars in budget cuts to Amtrak. Right now, funding for Amtrak is $1.4 billion a year. The House Appropriations Committee wants to slash it to $1.13 billion. So let's talk about that with Congressman Ryan Costello. The Pennsylvania Republican is on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Welcome, sir.
Carol, thanks for having me on.
I suppose we should say that there's no relation, but I do admire your last name, Costello.
And I admire yours, and I wish we were able to chat in more lighthearted ways, but this is a tragedy, and my heart goes out to all involved, as I'm sure yours does, and the entire CNN community, as well as many of my constituents who use the Amtrak corridor every day. In fact, I came down to Washington, D.C. from Wilmington yesterday on the Amtrak line, and I intend on going back home tonight on the Amtrak line. So this hits very close to home for myself and a lot of folks in southeastern Pennsylvania.
I don't know if many in the nation are aware of this, but derailments are not unknown to Amtrak. And this is according to the Washington Post. 2012, there were 2 derailments. 2013, there were 3 derailments. 2014, there were 6 derailments. And this year, 2015, 9 derailments so far. What's going on?
Well, the short answer is we're going to find out in the weeks to come what specifically happened here. I'd like to add a couple more statistics to what you just outlined. There are 2,000 rides per day on the Amtrak corridor, the Northeast corridor. 2% of the nation's land mass is in the Northeast corridor, yet 18% of our population and 20% of our GDP relates back to the Northeast corridor. So investing in the Northeast corridor, making sure that it's safe, is critical. And you put up some statistics at the beginning of the segment about some who seek to reduce the appropriations for Amtrak. I'm not in that camp. I can tell you that right now. And if that bill shows a reduction when it hits the floor, myself and others, I think you're going to see amendments to make sure that there is stable funding on the Northeast corridor. If we're not investing in our safety for the Northeast corridor, we're not doing what we should be doing down here. People need to have confidence. We need to have confidence that it's a safe route.
Absolutely. But I think that and this just didn't happen this year, right? For a long time, there were some Republicans on Capitol Hill who said they want to privatize Amtrak, and the government should no longer be involved in subsidizing the railroad. What do you think about that?
Well, I am a Republican. I disagree with the notion that we should privatize it. I would also say that if you look at the Northeast corridor, in fact, we just passed a bill about a month ago. It's now headed to the Senate, which would keep the profits in the Northeast corridor to make sure there is a capital improvements backlog for projects in the Northeast corridor. And if you look at some of the statistics we just spoke about, clearly there's a need to improve safety along the Northeast corridor. There's a lot of projects that may not even be related to what happened. We don't know. So we want to make sure the NTSB, the FRA, DOT, everyone else investigating this has the time and resources to find out what went wrong. But even separate and apart from that, we need to continue to invest in our passenger rail system across the country, but particularly in the Northeast. It's a critical piece of the economy in the Northeast part of our country.
Congressman Ryan Costello, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you.